So I decided to troll two girls in real life. This is not clickbait. It was Sunday at 11 in the night when I decided, hey, I'm really bored today, let's go troll some girls. Because that's what virgins do, right? I'm sorry, kids. Now, in my perspective, girls are quite egotistical themselves, and quite frankly, I am kind of a mastermind, so I can manipulate them into thinking the wrong way. Now, before you get any wrong ideas, not that wrong way, okay? Family-friendly channel here, guys. The first girl's name is Anne, and the second girl's name is Elvie. Now, quite frankly, Elvie is quite smarter than Anne, but they're quite on a lower level in terms of intelligence than me, so I have a bunch of tricks up my sleeve. Since I was communicating through them to Snapchat deletes messages every so often, and I think after you read them, I'm not quite sure, but it deletes them. So I couldn't quite get the footage, so I'm just gonna have to recreate the footage myself, okay guys? This is not my fault. I'm sorry, I couldn't record it. But don't worry, it's not all bad, I got some evidence out of it. Well, the first trick up my sleeve was to make me feel as desperate as possible. I want them to think that I needed help. But what way could I do that? Well, I think to myself, well, they're only 14 years old, so what kind of knowledge do they have? Algebra? No, I didn't think so. So I went online to scour for some questions. Then I stumbled across a concept that made millions of students around the globe struggle. Calculus. You see, for someone myself, I don't really understand calculus either, and I mean, I've never taken a calculus course before, but I do know the pre-calculus things like polynomials, graphing, trigonometry, algebra. Don't worry, I kinda knew what I was doing. Now, my first order of business is to let that sink into my head. Is that something they're gonna know? Do you think it's gonna work? Do you think you're gonna feel so desperate? How are you gonna make it feel so desperate? What if I told them that this was my assignment? What if this was my homework for the night? And I absolutely need help because, you know, I am a dumbfound myself. And they know that I'm dumb because I act dumb around them. So now I had a plan and it was time to put into action. So on Sunday, 11 p.m., I texted Anne. Please, help me solve this equation. This equation is the meaning of my life. No, I'm gonna die if I don't solve this equation. Help me! Help me! To her surprise, she thought I was completely high. She thinks I was the victim of mental health problems. And she just replied, huh? Help me solve this. This equation's so hard. I need to hand this in by 5 a.m. Otherwise, my teacher will come and assassinate me. Help me! Please! Do something! And then she was like, oh, yeah, we haven't learned that yet. Yeah, and it's also late at night. So now she thought I was crazy. She thought I was absolutely out of my mind. She became less interested and my plan started to fail. But I could recover. Because the next thing she said was, hey, do you want to play Minecraft? Oh my god, you play Minecraft? I was like, where? When? Show me a picture. And she said, hey, you should join. You should join in our survival world. And I was like, this will be the next step of my master plan. My master plan! So at 12 a.m. at midnight, I grabbed my phone and we started playing Minecraft. But here was the catch. I actually couldn't join them on their survival world. You see, I couldn't join the world primarily for one reason. And the reason was I didn't want to join. I mean, quite frankly, they're playing on a Switch. Do you think Switch handles Minecraft in the best performance possible? Didn't think so. So now I thought this was a pretty good idea myself because I wanted them to feel like I'm completely an idiot, that I completely forgot about my plan and they were not gonna get trolled after all. So I want their guard as low as possible because I didn't want them to think that I would troll them. And this was the perfect opportunity to do that. That was because it was step 2 of my master plan. No, I can't join your world. I don't know why it won't let me. I'm on literally a hotspot just outside McDonald's. What am I gonna do now? Do you want me to go home? Which I was not at McDonald's actually. It was 12 at night. I think they're closed by then. And you think I'd be just sitting in the alleyway playing Minecraft and trying to troll 2 little girls outside? Didn't think so. They said, hey, let's just go play on a public server. And they were like, oh, which public server? Because I don't really play Bedrock, so I don't know. And there's like, oh, the Hive, the largest Minecraft server on the Bedrock edition. I was like, well, okay. Well, I'm not really much of a Bedrock player myself, but I'll give it a try, because I'm a mainly Hypixel player. And I invited them to my party, and we played Egg Wars. And quite frankly, I was still pretty good at PvP because my skills have been honed for nearly 10 years and I completely carried them. All I did was stare at a guy and he immediately jumped into the void. Am I really that ugly? During the middle of the game, phase 2 of my master plan came into effect. I logged out and I told them, hey guys, my internet went out. Help me. No. Only like one guy left and they had no bed or egg, whatever. They were gonna do well on their own because it was literally one guy who was eggless. Like he literally was so stacked, but we had like a bed, we had obsidian, we had everything. Yeah, so we won. And now phase 3 of my plan came into effect. I had to act weird. I had to act abnormal. Like I was the victim of mental health problems. Why do I keep saying that? Oh well, is that the only thing I know to say? Victim of mental health problems? And why is there a block up there? Wait, what? Hello? Oh, sorry, it must be my ADHD, sorry. Okay, where were we? And then she tells me, hey, do you want a cookie? And I was like, no, I want your hair. I know, to a surprise, hey, that's pretty weird. Why would you want my hair? I know they thought of me as a creepy stalker. No, I'm not. I'm just another guy trying to troll people. I actually didn't tell them that, but anyway, I kept moving forward. And now the second girl, Alfie, comes into play. Why do you want Anne's hair? That's pretty weird. And I'm like, To make them think I wasn't completely normal, I deleted the message. You know, I tried to act cool. I just like, hey, that came out wrong. Pretend you never saw that. And Alfie was so cool about us. Like, she was like, you are very weird. And now she completely based my entire personality off of that one phrase that I said. I know my life was completely ruined, and that's what I wanted them to think, because I couldn't act normal. And that was phase 3 of my master plan. Make them think that I'm not normal at all. So now I switched up the conversation. Don't you two have classes tomorrow? Well, yes, because they're 14 years old. Do you think they wouldn't have classes? I know it's quite getting late in the night, around 1:30 a.m., and I still don't know why they're awake. That doesn't make sense to me. But they're girls after all. Do you think they actually go to bed at their bedtime? They didn't think so. Then they asked me, hey, don't you have classes tomorrow? And quite frankly, I don't really have classes in the morning. I have them in the afternoon. So I was like, well, no, I can wake up a little later at night. Don't worry about it. And now I said, don't be like me. And I quite frankly, I said that just to make them think that I am not normal, that I don't sleep at night. Like a complete insomniac. Phase 4 had been going very well. And now I introduced the question to Alfie and I said, Alfie, please solve this because your half-sister doesn't exceed the maximum required brain cells to perform this utterly simple task. And I tried to make Anne feel so useless and completely inadequate. And it was so simple. All you had to do was find all the second-order partial derivatives of the given function. It's so simple. Like, it's not like you needed to know, you need calculus or anything. That's completely absurd. I know you think 2 girls wasn't bad enough, but now they brought the third girl in, and her name was Chai. You see, Chai was actually the stupidest out of the 3. No offense, but in my opinion, she kinda is. And don't take that literally, because that's a biased opinion. And then they say, oh well, she likes math, and I completely know that she does not know how to do math. I mean, for God's sakes, she can't even divide a whole number. Like, how? How can you not do that? Like, you have a literal calculator, just punch in numbers and you'll get the right answer. And now I think they're gonna attempt to solve my question, even though they have absolutely no idea how to solve it. And now I think it took her like 5 minutes to try and solve it. But Alfie said, I can solve it. It's like, well, why can't you? Just use photo math. And then now I tried to act it all. I tried to act like a boomer. I told them, someone told me that's a thing, but I have zero idea how to use it. It's easy. And I said, well, that's why I asked Anne. So smart. And being completely absent from the conversation, said, I'm Nick sick. No idea what that is. And now I tried to make them feel completely more inadequate. And then they said, well, I'm so dizzy right now. Well, that's probably due to the lack of sleep, right? And I told them, well, sleep is for weak people. Don't sleep. Like, you could do better things than just laying down and closing your eyes for 8 hours in a day, or sometimes less, depending on who you are. I said, true. Strong mothers like Alfie don't sleep. And they're getting very tired now, which was part of my master plan. I wanted them to be as drowsy as possible so it would be harder for them to think and speak. Now, all the things that they say now are probably most likely influenced by sleep deprivation. So they're probably not gonna make any good decisions. Now I remember a few months ago, Alfie gave me this one drawing that she made. It said, I see you, as like a creepy creepy little sticky note that you could put on anyone's back door, and then they'd get completely freaked out because they might think to themselves, oh, am I getting watched? Oh no, no. And now they tried to bring me out of my equation, the equation that I was trying to get them to solve. So then I brought it back up again, hoping that they would at least try to solve it again. Then they completely denied my request of them answering my question, and their excuse was Alvi was dealing with big girl problems. Boys, you know. Now whenever I'm around them, I usually act like a parent to them. I help them when they need it the most, but at this time, I think they're dealing with their own problems that they don't want to tell me, so I just left them alone for now. I don't think it's fair for them to let me know, because it's none of my business. And I completely respect that, because I am a humble person. And to make it seem like I am a good parent to them, I told them that I was on 3% battery and my phone was about to die. And I was going to use those last few minutes to absolutely help as much as I can. Because I'd sacrificed that 3%, which I actually did. And yes, before you comment, simp, simp, no, you're the simp. I think at this point, I think it was her crush that was talking to her, so I gave him the advice, tell him very nice, because very nice is what I say to everybody. When I walk past them, very nice. When somebody asks me, how are you today? I said, very nice. Everything deserves very nice. You guys should say very nice too. It is a good phrase that you should ingrain into your head. That's something that you should say every day. Make you a better person, smarter. Don't. And I think at this point, I think they're just, you know, having this mild conversation in another group chat, so I just kind of left it alone for a little bit. And before I left, I told them, well, I could know something that you're not gonna tell me. I could probably know, which I couldn't. I don't know how I'm gonna know if they're not gonna tell me, right? But I wanted them to think that I had some superpowers, because that was also a part of my master plan. And now, I went back to phase 1 because this was kind of going nowhere. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go cry in the corner and try to solve my equation, because they were. And I think they had a slight idea that I was trying to troll them also, because I was acting very abnormal. Now I didn't want to use either of these programs because that would end my master scheme. So I just said, well, can you still solve it for me anyway, please? And now they absolutely got mad at me. It doesn't work! You know what? I give up. I'm going to die. Why? This equation is fundamental. You Socratic. Okay. Doesn't work. Are you sure? I'm just going to die. Now I sent them this and they were completely traumatized. I don't even know why I have this picture on my hard drive. Somebody, please, somebody explain for me. Maybe I am mentally weird, you know? No, they told me to ask third-party people that were actually smart. I actually knew in real life also. And I'm like, no. Because I can't do that. I'm trying to troll them, not troll the other guys. And now I think most of you forgot that I actually needed to have this by 5 o'clock in the morning. I wanted them to feel that I was feeling more desperate than ever, at the maximum limit. I'm going to die. I'm gonna die by 5 a.m. if I don't have this equation solved. Well, I guess this is it. Bye. And you wanna know what they said next? They said, oh well, just die. I don't care. And they're just telling me like the only answer to my problems is just use a third-party program to help me solve this equation. And now I had to go to my last embargo, the last stretch. This is the last thing in my sleeve. And I told them, well, I'll let you sleep if you help me. Literally use photo math. So now I was on my last stretch again. It was a good run. I love you both. Ha 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 ha! Stop being dramatic. It's just math! And now, after this point, this gets really repetitive, so I'm just gonna scroll through the messages. I put my soul and effort to you, and in return you let me die? You're just saying too bad. Can't you Google or something? Try to understand for me? Please, I don't wanna die. How am I supposed to understand when I don't even know what that is? But I guess they were kinda too smart. I didn't think my plan was working very well. So I had to end it at one point. They didn't think I was serious, but I was trying to act serious. That's what I wanted them to think. And girls these days, they're just way too smart. What am I gonna do? And so, the next morning, I told them, I solved it, Alvi. Yeah, I did it. Thank you, Alvi. Thank you. I didn't do nothing though. That was probably the most anticlimactic ending of all time. And so I made up a follow-up video. A video that I filmed in like 10 minutes. And in that video I pretty much just told them that I solved it and how to solve it. But now this was the part where I trolled them. And at the end of that video, you wanna know what I put? I put the rickroll video. Never gonna give you... sorry, I'll stop singing. You don't want to hear that. And so I edited that video and posted it on YouTube. And within the matter of 30 minutes, I was able to show them that video. Please watch this video. This is a follow-up of the equation. And they agreed to it. And 2 minutes later, as they watched the whole video, the best thing that they could say was very nice. Because they had been absolutely rickrolled. Haha, that was my master plan all this time. I didn't get only Alvi, I also got Anne because she was so speechless that she didn't even speak after that conversation. Haha, I got both of them. Let's go! Well, I couldn't get the reaction, but I bet you the reactions were priceless. So this was the story of me absolutely rickrolling 2 girls. Was it worth it? Did I achieve my dreams of becoming a mastermind? Did I accomplish anything? Did I achieve anything? Did I gain anything? Absolutely not. Will I do it again? Maybe.